Oh, Anders, could you tell us a little bit first about your background as an officer in the Salvation Army?
I can. Nice to be here. And first of all, sorry for my not perfect English, but I know you understand me, and hopefully more people will understand my Scandinavian English.
I'm sure it will be great.
Okay. I actually been an officer for almost 25 years, and it has been a wonderful journey with an incredible number of great experience. I had the opportunity to work with both children, young people, and adults, and all these meetings with different people have been enriching and a blessing for me. If you were to force me to mention one single incident or who has been a highlight for me during my time as an officer, then it has to be that memorable Sunday from last year when I had the opportunity to conduct the ceremony to reinstate a person as a soldier again. That's actually my proudest moment as an officer, and I would have done it again tomorrow.
And this incident or this Sunday, I mean, some people would consider it to be controversial. Some people would think this was a very difficult decision for you to make. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, it wasn't that complicated. I think we can get lost in theological discussion and arguing with different biblical views. But in the end, it is about assessing a person that I have to decide on. Is he or she able to become a soldier? Can we trust this person? Do I believe that God can use this person to bless other people? A soldier in the Salvation Army has to have a personal faith in Jesus. He or she needs to want to spread the gospel, the good news. A soldier wants to try and show how God is by Christian faith in practice. And she convinced me on all these points. Indeed, she had been doing these things since she became a soldier the very first time. And sadly, I think, for more than 20 years, she had been considered not good enough. She was expelled as a soldier because she was living in a same-sex marriage. She could easily have chosen to quit, but her warm commitment made her choose to stay. I know her well as a faithful, loyal person who does her utmost to show care for other people. So actually, the question will be, how could I hinder her desire to become a true soldier again?
So some people, Anders, would say that you were not loyal to the Salvation Army's international rules or official rules or the traditional viewpoint of marriage, traditional biblical Christian view of marriage. What would you respond to that?
I do understand that my reasoning may be seen as a contradiction by some others, and I have respect for those of our officers and soldiers who arrive at another viewpoint than I have. But I also hope that they will show me respect and understanding that one can interpret things in a different way, and that I am not less biblical or take the Bible less seriously than others.
So the topic of this conference is inclusion. That's the title. Why is that important to you? And do you think your experience here will sort of contribute to the Salvation Army moving down a different path, for example?
I hope so. The short answer will be Jesus. Trying to meet everyone we meet with his heart. Jesus is the clearest example of someone displaying a boundary-breaking love in life. He shows it through his teaching and his encounters with different people. I mean, Christ died for all of us. He died for you. He died for me. I once heard a story which I doubt is true, but I like the point of the story, so I share it with you. It's about a poor, homeless man who had died, and the parish council were asked to pay for his funeral and his grave. They were divided on this and ended up making a compromise that he could be buried on the other side of the fence, just outside the church graveyard. The parish priest could not reconcile himself to the fact that someone was not good enough to be buried in the church graveyard, and the result was that the priest actually ended up moving the fence so that it now included the man. This story doesn't directly relate to the situation I have been telling you about, but it does highlight the issue of somebody being excluded, and that sometimes the boundaries must be moved if they are unfair. So I think it's time for the Salvation Army, with its tradition of meeting people where they are, to manage to define a clearer position that gives homosexual equal right also in the church part of our organization. And finally, anyone who is concerned that this change is a step in wrong direction, I would say change always involves a risk, but we have done it before and we will do it again. Indeed, many changes prove after a while they are for the better.
Thank you for sharing, Anders.